Hey guys, it's Ayden here with Lazy Acres, Texas, and as you can see, I don't have a Mini X out right now. I have a larger backhoe attachment that's hooked up to our skid steer here. So I'm going to be talking about this thing today, and some of you might ask why I have a Mini X if I have a skid steer backhoe attachment, because obviously the bucket's larger, it looks beefier, and there's a few reasons for that. I'm going to talk about that too. Pretty much the reason why we have both is because they work differently for different situations. Like the Mini X is better for digging. This is because our skid steer is a low flow skid steer. It works for bailing out dirt, digging through soft soil like sandy loam. It works well, and it's got the larger bucket. So if you're digging out loose dirt, it's very easy, very large. Bigger buckets, a lot more dirt you can move with it, and a lot less time. And we also use it for dragging and pulling stuff. We use it for a lot of different things. I used it to bury an animal that unfortunately died. And it's a lot easier than having the Mini X spending an hour digging a big 4x4 hole when I could go with this and be done in half or a third of that time pretty much. So it's got different uses, but we're going to go over that today. So I'm not entirely sure. This is a Chinese attachment, by the way. I'm not entirely sure what the name is. I think this brand does not have a name. I know that there are two different variants of this type of attachment, or three different variants. There's one with a cheesy looking boom and a red piston that I've seen, and a cheesy bucket. There's one with a cheesy bucket and a decent looking boom, and we actually have a story about the cheesy bucket one. Someone that had one we've heard from was digging conch with it, and it just broke out. So this is a heavier duty one. Like I said, I'm not entirely sure of the brand name. I'm sure someone can correct me down in the comments. I got the sun in my eyes, by the way, guys. Other than that, it's just a piston. This one, I know some of the other models, they're not pins. They're actual, like, their own special mounting bracket. I believe we might be able to, on this one, because it's a pin assembly, hook up a standard excavator attachment for it. Don't hold me to that because I'm not entirely sure, but it's a possibility. So it's just pretty simple. We got our two hydraulic hoses we hook up to our little Thomas skid steer. Like I said, it's low flow skid steer, so it doesn't require a super amount of power. Given if you had a higher flow skid steer, the bucket might curl faster. Because of the size of our skid steer, the bucket tends to curl a little slow, and I'll show you guys that in just a second. I'm also we got a dirt pile behind us that I'm gonna try and dig out a little bit, so I'll show you kind of what it's good for digging with. Other than that, it's a solid little attachment. I can't remember what we paid for. We bought this at auction just like we bought everything else for. And yeah, it's worked pretty well so far. I mean, I haven't found anything wrong with it. Just make sure you guys keep all your stuff greased, because obviously it's a China thing. They're not built to American quality. Either way, you should just keep stuff greased. This is it more up close. You can see it's just a single piston. There's our hydraulic connectors right there that hooks up to. It's got these little foot grippy things, and here's a tag. I don't know if you guys can see that. It doesn't have a name to where it goes to, so yeah, there's just some details there. Yeah, you could tell we've used it already. It's got dirt in there. Like I said, it's got pins. It doesn't have like a special bracket that some of them have. The construction quality of the bucket looks really good. It looks pretty strong. It feels pretty strong. And of course, we're running on a small little Thomas here, an old Thomas. So yeah, without further ado, I guess we'll hook it up, and I'll show you kind of the ins and outs of it. Really quick. Monkey time! So that kind of gives you an idea of how slow it is at curling, at least. Given when I'm actually using it, I'm using the bucket tilt too as well to kind of compensate for that, lifting up the boom. So it's not actually as bad when you're using it for, if you're just using the curl, the bucket back and forth, it's going to be a little bit slower. Unless it may be because our machine's just a low power. It's got like 16 GPM, I think. It's not particularly high. It's a small 56 horse skid steer. So not particularly large, but let's dig a hole right here. This is kind of semi-rocky ground. I'll show you guys right here, and then mixed with some sand. So I'll show you guys what type of soil we're dealing with. This is kind of the type. Of soil we're going to be dealing with. See, it's rocky right there, but then it's sandy right there. So kind of a mix. This is really rocky. Oh my! So I guess that'll be a good test for it. Kind of a loose rock, I guess, but under the ground where it's kind of buried, it isn't. Hopefully I don't hit a root here. This is a nice oak tree. It is getting dark, so I'm running out of time to record, so I'm gonna have to do this quick. So maybe a little bit of a rushed video, but at least you guys will get to see something cool. So that's some pretty rocky ground. Like I was saying, you see there's rocks I'm going through, pulling that all up in the ground. It's pretty rocky, gravelly ground. Doesn't look like it. That's all loose sand that's on top of the rock already, but this is all hard rocky, hard pan rock right here. And then over here is looser sandy loam. And I'm gonna bring that over here. Obviously I gotta move the pipe out of the way, but we're gonna bring that over here and I'm gonna dig with that so I can show you the difference. Like I said, struggles a little bit with rock. Given if it's got a more powerful machine, it could probably do it a lot better, but our machine is not powerful enough, so this is what we use it for. We're going to use it for stuff kind of like this soft soil. Even up here on the stuff that hasn't been dug before, I mean, you can just see it's super soft. And then this has already all been dug before. So I'm going to pull this hose out of the way the best I can, which isn't much. And we're going to dig some of this soil right here so I can kind of give you guys a better feel for what it's going to be like. But as it is, it works better on soft soil. Given if you gave me enough time with this, I could probably break through and start getting some good buckets in, but it's kind of hard to do, really. But we're gonna get into the sand soil. This will work really well in here, and I know that for a fact. So I'm gonna set up the tripod right here. kind of, I hope that kind of helped to show you guys. It's really easy. It dug really nicely. I feel I could have gone another foot down easily if I wanted to, but I didn't. I filled it in and pushed it back a little bit. But I guess I can show you guys kind of what it's going to look like when you're inside the machine, huh? It's kind of difficult to see in this view. Alright, sorry for that. But this is kind of what your view is going to be inside the machine. You want me to lower it just a little bit? This is going to be your view. And given, depending on what angle you have it at, it might be a little bit different. But yeah, just a little quick one for you guys there. Just kind of showcasing this one. If you have any other attachments that we should check out, let us know. We got a shredder that's a few years old from China. We got a grapple that's also a few years old from China. And we got an auger and a bunch of other stuff we got. So without that, thank you guys for watching. Catch you guys in the next one.